Yo, 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 Nothing's Normal podcast. It's your host, Spinanks, back at you with another episode. Now, it's going to be a special episode. I know y'all tired of me saying that. I say that all the time, but I mean it too, though, because I don't just sit down with anybody. Like, that's just not what I do. So if I'm sitting down next to you, it's special for whatever the reason is to me. But before we get into my guests, let's do our shout out. Shout out to Green Leaf Studios. That's where we are right now. If you want to shoot a movie, a podcast, if you want to shoot the breeze for the right price, we got you, Green Leaf Studios. Shout out to GBA, Liberty Set. Give with my boy Tails for that. Polymath. Yeah, I think that's about it. But enough about us. Let's get more into our guests, who I got sitting to the left.
So my name is Beranda Felder, also known as Dr. Felder On Line One. I am the creator and the host of Dr. Felder On Line One, which is a podcast that I've recently launched. It's coming out in March of 2025. I'm also a psychologist in training, so I'm in school now to get my PsyD in clinical and school psychology. And one day I hope to be your doctor. So that's why I'm here.
So, doctor, that's the part I want to focus on just for a hot minute. Doctor, because, like I said, nowadays people just throw titles on anything. You got doctor this, doctor that, miss this, miss that. What's this doctor we talking about?
No. So
Where'd that come from?
This is like a real life degree. So.
Okay, ooh, doctorate. So that's short for doctorate.
Yeah. So I'm in school now getting my doctorate in school and clinical psych. So I could be like a psychologist in school.
Yeah.
Helping kids, diagnosing kids, or I can be a psychologist in like psych wards, hospitals, facilities, and stuff like that. So I'm currently in school. It's a 5-year program. I'm in my 4th year now, so I'm almost done. And I'm excited to be here. Like, I'm so grateful that you had me on. I'm thankful. I'm happy.
Before we even get into that, what's the process of getting a doctorate degree for, the viewers that's young, that's interested in pursuing something like that? Because, I could spell doctorate, but that's about it. Like, that's a lot. How much schooling, what goes in the process of getting that degree?
You know what? It's tough.
That's
and I wish that...
level.
I want to be very transparent. I've had people reach out to me and ask me, like, friends of mine, friends of friends of mine, and I'm always open to tell it. So this is also going to be on the podcast, which is why y'all got to, like, follow so y'all can get more juice.
For sure.
But everybody has different pathways. So my pathway that I took was I got my bachelor's. So I went for 4 years. I got a bachelor's in psychology. Then I got a master's degree in school counseling. So I was like a guidance counselor for a while. I was in school for 7 years.
Okay.
And then one day, literally during the pandemic, without even thinking about it, I was just like, let me see what's the process of becoming a doctor. I always knew I wanted to become a doctor.
Yeah.
So I played myself kind of like taking the time instead of doing everything through. But literally during the midst of the pandemic, I started applying to schools with no intentions of really getting in. Like, nobody knows that. I just was like playing around.
Yeah.
I got like interviews, like 3 interviews.
For sure.
Went to the interviews. I was like, okay, this is cool. And then one of the schools, I got in.
Yeah.
And then I got a scholarship.
Damn.
And then my mother was like, you're going.
You out of here.
You got to go. So I think that
Yeah.
it's something I always knew I wanted to do, but I kind of wasted a lot of time. But I do want to say to other people, you can enroll in these kind of programs just with a bachelor's, because I'm gonna have my second master's in a few months.
Right.
So along the way, you'll get another master's. So you could literally enroll in this program with a bachelor's degree. You get a master's along the way. So I'll have a master's soon in education as well, and then you'll get both at the same time. So I could have saved myself 2 years, but my journey, my way, and that's the way I did it. Yeah.
We got to definitely get into your story, because like I'm one of them people, like, I pay attention to like my thought patterns, how people think, the decisions people make under certain circumstances. So when you talk about COVID, like, I don't know too many people that was thinking about getting more degrees during that time. So to even be thinking about that, we gotta, because you know what I'm saying, we gotta figure that out. But we just got this small policy. I know we got right to it. But over here, Nothing's Normal. We don't like to start our stories on page 50.
Okay.
We like to just go from the beginning of the story to get a viewers an idea, the who, the what, the when, the how, which leads to your why now. So, with that being said, Beranda, where you from?
I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Damn.
I'm one of 4. I was born to a teenage mom. My mom had me at 18. She had my brother at 16. And it was tough. Like, I tell people that all the time. Like, I am literally like my ancestors' wildest dream. And throughout my story, you'll hear me talk a lot about my mother, because I always tell her, like, you saved my life. Like, if it wasn't for you, she gave up her dream so I can have a dream. Like, she literally saved my life. And I give her all the credit all the time. Like, people say, like, you're an amazing woman. I'm like, I would be nothing without her. Like, she gave up her life for us. Like, to have 2 kids at 18, And like we've been through the struggle, like we've been in shelters, like literally we was in a shelter in the Bronx. My mother tell us like my mom literally stayed up and made sure that rats wasn't on us so that we could be fine. Like she like literally sacrificed for me and my brother. When my other two siblings came along, she was more established. Like my mom's a social worker now, she's married. My stepdad is married, they're more stable. But for a long time, it was just me, her, and my brother. Yeah. And my mom sacrificed so much. And I think like growing up, she instilled in me like, you could be anything you want to be. Like, I don't care how crazy it is. So when I told her like, I want to be a doctor, she pumped that to me. Like, you said this is what you want to be, you got to follow through. Like, how you going to do it? Yeah. Because people around me was telling me, Black, you from Bed-Stuy? How you going to be a doctor?
What are you doing?
How you
don't rap?
How you gonna pay for it? Like, what you gonna do? How you gonna pay for this school? And like, it's a long time. You're gonna be in school a long time. But I had my mother in my ear telling me like, don't let them psych you out. Don't let them fool you. You could do whatever you want to do. Like, even after you come, don't let nobody psych you out. If you say this is what you want to do, you could do it. Like, and I think along the way, when I had people in this ear telling me I can't, my mother's always in my head. Like,
that's
you
important.
You can.
Consistently. You need that. Yeah.
And people think I'm crazy, but like every single day, I speak to my mother on the phone. Every day. Every day. I speak to her on the phone every morning because she is the start of my morning, because you're going to have bad days. And when I have bad days, she remind me, like, yo, remember who you are.
For sure.
Like, don't let people psych you out, because the world will psych you out.
The world, it's nasty out here.
The world will psych you out. Your friends will psych you out. You have other family members that will psych you out. Yeah. My mother never psyched me out. She said, you got to remember, like, you got to remember what I tell you. You got to remember you proved people wrong already. You made it so far. Don't let the world psych you out. So that's kind of where my life started, obviously, like, in Bed-Stuy, in Brooklyn. I played sports. Yeah. So sports was like my safe haven.
For sure.
I played sports, but I didn't know that sports was going to take me far to get me into school and get me scholarships. So a lot of people be like, oh, how you going to pay for school? Sports pay for school.
What would you play, softball?
I played basketball. I was, listen. And I was known in Brooklyn. I went to Midwood High School, Curzon Street from Brooklyn College. Yeah. Back then, it was one of the best. That's when, like, Epiphany Prince was out. It was known as one of the best. Like, I was around during that era, you know what I mean? Mary Bertram was known as one of the best. Yeah. My freshman year, I tell people all the time, they see me now, they're like, I don't believe you. I'm like, listen, I know what I'm talking about. Sure. My freshman year, I played. Like, I actually played in games, and me and my school, we made it to the Final Four. So it was a big time for basketball, women's basketball, and it was a big time for me. And I think that, like, I was so grateful for that, because that allowed me not to get caught up in certain things. Like, statistically, it says that because I was born to a teenage mom, I'm supposed to be a teenage mother. Basketball and my mother kept me focused. Like, my mom was like, you're not about to be having no baby.
Not at all.
Like, you got to stay focused. Like, I sacrificed too much, and it's hard. So basketball kind of like saved my life until I got to school, and I was able to kind of see a different world and see other people and meet other people and start learning what traveling was and going to different countries. Like, I didn't know that and stuff like that. So I'm grateful for that part of my journey.
So basketball mean a lot to you?
I think it meant a lot to me. I think
it was an important time period. It got you, it led you to the door that, we eventually gonna get to. One of the things I do want to touch on, especially with you being a woman, opposites, they say opposites attract. So naturally, a boy is gonna gravitate towards his mom, and a woman, a daughter, will gravitate, to their father. Was that something that ever played on, especially? I see it all the time. Like, I'm raising, a little baby girl too. That don't come from me. So, I could see that being. And then my mom had her father, so I seen both worlds, and it couldn't be, it seemed a ride. Yeah. Is that something that you went through?
I think that, like, fathers are definitely important. So, like, I always tell people I'm lucky because I have two fathers. So my birth father, my biological father, we had our struggles, and throughout, like, we had bumps where we didn't speak. We're in a great place now, and I'm grateful for that. And that comes with me being an adult and me being able to have conversations. But, like, one thing I will say, my stepfather been in my life since I was 2 and never left.
Also saying, okay.
Yeah, so he's been, that's what I tell people. I say step parents are important. Like, my stepfather, and, like, you can't tell that man I ain't his daughter. Like, when he introduced me, that's my daughter. Like, that's my daughter. So my stepfather played an imperative part of my life, and the things that my mother wasn't really interested in basketball. My stepfather would show up. Or my stepfather would drag her, like, we gotta go, this is important. Yeah. My stepfather would be like, you gotta eat breakfast, you're a baller, you gotta be, you gotta have your nutrients.
Job do.
Yeah, so like my stepfather was the male figure in the house, so like we had that. Like I had, I had like the superwoman. My mom was super mother, but my mother had a husband who loved her and loved her kids.
For sure.
And I think that's what makes like my family dynamic so great is because like when you see us, you don't see no difference. You just see family.
That's
and
it.
like, it's not a lot of black families that do that.
Not at all.
Not at all. Like, you could,
Not
like,
at all.
it's weird. People think we're crazy, but like, even like my step siblings, they're welcome in my house. Like, they call my mother mom. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we are a family. There's no beef. We are a family. We work together. We're a community. This is love here. And when one is failing or one is falling short, we lean on each other. And I love that about my dynamic.
That's I like to hear that. I like, it's like I said, it's not a typical story that you hear in Brooklyn. Like, you know, that's dope. Okay, speaking on it, we kind of fast forwarded straight to page 50 with your schooling. Like, coming up, what kind of student was Miranda?
And people may not believe this because everybody think I'm a really.
Like, was you out there fighting? Like, what was you out there doing?
No, honestly,
your
I didn't.
aura just.
No. So my aura comes from that because, like I said, I have an older brother. We're 2 years apart. Ooh. So a lot of things that we were doing, I wanted to be just like him.
For
like,
sure.
I was following him. So he was outside playing ball with the boys. I was outside playing ball with the boys. I wanted to be with my brother. So a lot of that era came from him. Like, my brother used to do everything for me. He was driving me places. We was doing everything. I think growing up with a brother, like I said, my sister and my little brother, they came later. My mom was established. For sure. Me and him went through the struggle together.
Yeah, I seen mommy.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? So I think, like, being with him, I was a student. Like, I wasn't no dummy. I was always passing. I wasn't stupid. I know I wanted to play ball. These are the requirements you had to meet. So I was going to make sure I did that. But I don't think that even like people there, I wasn't the best student in the world. If you would have told me back then I was going to be a doctor today, I would have laughed at your face. Like, I'm not doing all that time. But I think that back then, you know, it was little stuff. If I got into stuff, it was because of my older brother. So like, if he was fighting, I'm jumping in.
Out there.
That's my brother. I'm jumping in. Like, and you damn right. I can't go back and tell my mother, like, oh, I let my brother get junked. She gonna look at me like you're crazy. Yeah. She always told us, y'all stick together. Yeah. So like, if my brother was going outside, you can't go outside unless you take her. So he like, all right, come on. Like, I was outside with him. Like, you know what I mean?
What's one of the craziest memories you have with your brother? Because, like I said, I got little sisters and shit like that. And there's a couple times you might put something in their book bag. You know what I'm saying? And they tell you, walk it down here, or listen, mommy don't know this is under here, but this is the, you know what I'm saying? What's a funny story with you?
I'm going to tell you the craziest story that ever happened to me. And this is why it's crazy. I'll never forget. Yeah. We was on Broadway. We were like in Highland Park or something. They was having like a barbecue and stuff like that. And they were like brawling. Like, they brawling, they shooting. Now, one thing about my brother, he gonna tell you, like, yo, we getting up out of here, but you got to keep up. He was fast. Like, he could run and like Speedy Gonzalez. Mm-hmm. So they started like shooting in the place in the park. So I'm running. So everybody like, let's go. I'm like, I'm not leaving until I find my brother. Are you crazy? I am not going nowhere until I find him. He's somewhere in here. I can't go home until I find him. So I'm calling his phone. So I call his phone. He like, yeah, where you at? I'm like, I'm looking for you. Where you at? He like, I'm at the corner waiting for you. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, hold my ass. Like, Beranda, don't play with me. Let's go. So then I get there. I said, you was going to get on the train and leave me? He said, no, I couldn't leave you. This is why I'm looking for you.
Yeah, that's love.
So it used to be crazy, but like, we used to like stick together. Like, when we were younger, we did, of course, the sibling thing. We used to fight each other. But as we got older, we learned to like look out for each other and love on each other. And I thank God for him, because I feel like my childhood was fun because of him. I have a brother who's close in age. We went to the same schools.
Everything. Oh my
Everything.
God.
The only time we separated was in high school, because I was like, listen. And then I was playing ball. I was like, listen, I got to have my own identity. But the whole time, we went to the same schools. We hung out in the same neighborhoods. And my mother was like, if you're going outside, you got to take your sister, or you can't go. Yeah. We had the same curfew. We got the same allowance. Back then, you could leave your kids in the house. My mother would be at work.
Definitely.
Me and him would be in the house, and she'd be like, y'all open that. Y'all better open the door for nobody.
For nothing.
Y'all make y'all beefaroni in the microwave. Y'all sit down and y'all wait till I get home. Like that, you know, our childhood was different from what it is now. So I'm grateful that I had him.
Some of the strongest bonds is built under circumstances like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know families who, like, you know, they was well off. Like, some of the struggles you was telling me. I don't know if we was on camera or off camera. Matter of fact, no, we was on camera. That what you went through with your mom, young. They don't have that, but they don't have that love neither. Though. There was nothing there to really test, you know, the relationship and see how sturdy it is. So I could feel you. I'm an energy person. Like, you love your family. You big on that. I can feel that. Yeah.
And I think that, like,
feel it.
People like feel like struggle. Don't get me wrong. If it's struggle or not struggle, people gonna choose not struggle. But I think the struggle, it makes character, because I can see the difference in all my mother children. I tell her that now too. Me and my brother are very hungry.
My sister ain't gonna like that.
They were, I tell my siblings this too. Me and my older brother, very hungry, very much like, we got to eat, we got to get it. We're not dependent on mommy because that's what she instilled in us. My younger sibling and brother, they'll go spend $1,000 and come to my mother like, can I get $500? And I'm like, what?
They didn't see that. They
didn't see her struggle. Like I said, when they came along, she was more established. So I think it definitely built the character that some people now are trying to gain. She instilled in us from a little. So now as adults, we have it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you need those skills, though.
Yeah.
Like some people, shit, they don't got no survival skills. So this is the gift in the crowd. I'm kind of happy I grew up the way I grew up, too, because I'm built different. Like, you know, I don't think my other sibling, nah. And I like it that way, too, though. I wear that crown, like, proudly. Like, I wouldn't even want, not like it was super crazy, don't get it fucked up, but, like, you know, she ain't had that. She ain't go through the struggle. It was more stability.
Yeah.
You know? All right. At some point, like I said, you do go to school. Was psychology? What do you major in? Matter of fact,
I got my bachelor's.
Is it different? Do it change up as the degrees? The major change?
It changes, but it's up to you. It's about where you want to go. So like, I got my bachelor's in psychology. Literally, what happened was I was at Manhattanville up here. I went to Manhattanville. I didn't know what I wanted to major with. I'm there to play ball. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to play ball. I went there and I went to a group. It was called Ladies Room. And Ladies Room was a group where it had a bunch of younger women from the local neighborhood. So they were from like all over Stanford, here. They brought them there on the bus. And literally, it was a place where girls came in and we talked to girls about different topics. It was like a therapy for young women. And I went there as a freshman. It was some scene she was running there, and no shade to her. Like, you know, she was a Caucasian woman. And she was just running, and I was like, these black girls can't relate to what she's talking about. Right. They can't relate. You get what I'm saying? It's hard when you're sitting up here and you're from money telling a black girl, oh, you're going to be okay, or your struggle is this, or you're not your struggle. It's tough.
Absolutely. You don't got the solution for that.
So I was sitting there saying to myself, I was like, by the time I'm a senior, I'm going to be running this program. Like, I'm going to run it. That's what I said to myself in my head. I'm going to run it. By junior, I was running it. I revamped the whole program. I had an assistant, and we talked about, we was in there. No, listen, I was in there with them young girls. Mind you, they 13, 14, 15. This is the imperative time in their life. Like, they're thinking about different things. They're talking about hygiene. We're talking about sex. We're talking about being a black woman. We're talking about school. We're talking about all of this. And you're telling these young girls your struggle doesn't define where you come from? No. So we revamped the whole program. When I became a junior, I revamped the whole program, and I started educating these young women on things that they needed. I got donations from Walmarts with like hygiene, with pads, stuff like that, teaching these girls how to take care of themselves as women that sometimes your mother don't teach you.
Absolutely.
Or your mother think you're supposed to know. Or they don't have mothers because their mother's on drugs. So I started to do that. So I did that both my junior and senior year. And I think that's kind of like when my love for like counseling and therapy started.
Absolutely. You was a healer, like through your experience. You got, How did the school allow that? Because like sometimes, like I said, cultural, you know, it'd be, you know how school get to it. The system wasn't necessarily designed for us. So it's like, you know, were they accepting to that idea coming from you?
I think that they was accepted. I was loved at Manhattanville. I don't want to shade that away. I was loved, and I had support there. Like, I had supporters there. I had other black women behind me. One of the women who she's still like a supporter today. Like, she was like, I call her like my second mom because like she was a supporter when I was there, and like she was the advocate. So they were open to it happening. Of course, they probably was like, what's she trying to do? But I came in and I switched it around, and each week the group was growing. So now this is a group that if you go to Manhattanville, you decide to come whether you want to or not. Women were coming, and I had to tell them like the group is closed. I can't take no more.
Damn.
So that says a lot about what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So women were coming in, and it was like I had to turn them away because we didn't just have the space for it. But I'm definitely proud of that. And when I left, one of the girls who I actually was mentoring, she took over the group. Okay. So it's something that continued to go on. It continued to go on. So I was like, that's something I'm still very proud of.
What year did you leave Manhattanville?
Jesus Christ! Now you got me showing my age. I graduated in 2014.
So that program is still active as of a decade.
It's still active
we a
today.
decade and some change later. So that's impact right there. That's not easy to do. Let's talk about it. At some point, matter of fact, before we get into that, I like to ask people that you probably one of the first ladies. Ladies get real shady when it comes to ladies. I don't know what that's about, but who's some of your women influences, if you have any?
Wow, nobody's ever asked me that question. I wasn't ready for that one. That's good. I like this.
Well,
you're gonna think I'm crazy. I feel like my mom, it's a lot
that's okay.
It's a lot of women, like a lot of people gonna come here, they're gonna say like Michelle Obama and this person and that person, but I come from a long line of strong women. Like my family is predominantly made of women, and I see women make it happen. Like I saw like my mom, like I said, me strapped on the front, holding my brother's hand, book bag on her back, baby bag on her shoulders, going to school, dropping us to my grandmother, going to school, going to work, then coming back. Like, I've seen, like, her struggle so much, so I can't say nobody else but her. Absolutely. And, like, my grandmother, she was, like, a very strong person, too. Like, she took care of us when my mother was in school. Like, you know what I mean? My mother had told her, I remember she told me a story, she was like, my grandparents didn't want her to go in the shelter. They was like, why are you taking them kids in the shelter? We have space here. And my mother said, if I ever want to create a life for my kids myself, I have to go in the shelter. And she left. Damn. Her parents was willing to let her stay there. She wasn't kicked out. Yeah. My mom left because she knew that she had to be a woman and she had to create a life for her kids. So I gotta say her. Like, she went through too much for me to say anybody else. Absolutely. Like, she's the strongest woman I know. She's created a life, and even still to this day, I'm grown. If I call her right now, she gonna come through. What you need? Where you need to be? What's going on? All right, we gonna make it happen. So.
There's no right or wrong answer because you had that already. Yeah. So, that's the whole goal. I feel like as a parent, there's too many outside influences raising our kids nowadays. That's a big problem. So there's no need to even go nowhere outside of that. That's important.
And one thing about it, like, too, like, don't get it twisted. Like, I'll get caught up in, like, life and then what the world is influenced, and then she'll check me and bring back the reality, like, don't forget.
Well, nah, I'm not even, like, being, like, not the name, like, Megan Thee Stallion and then I'm talking about, like, just... Oh, I like the way she moved. Or I like this about such and such. Like, more on that type tip. Like, who, This is for the ladies. Like, too many ladies don't be shy. Like, men do it too, though. Because I'm not really with gender-based offenses no more. Everybody's doing everything.
It's tough. I don't know.
Who you listening to?
Like, okay, music-wise.
Let's go. I mean, I was talking about we gonna dumb it down now. Now we're gonna go from the doctorate. We're gonna go back to music. To associates real quick.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Meg fan. I'm a Meg fan because, and people gonna think I'm crazy. Yeah. I'm a Meg fan because Meg is very, in this world, especially in this generation today, it's hard to kind of be yourself. She is on some stuff where, like, I don't care what nobody say. This is how I am, and this is what I'm doing. And, like, I feel like a lot of people judge her for the things that she do that men do every day. Right. She just say, this is what I'm doing, but men do this every day and we walk past them and that's nothing. Like, I think that
Give me an example, like something like what? What they say, what do she get?
Okay, like perfect example. Every time she dates somebody new, they got a problem with it. Like, oh, she's dating somebody new. You know how many people Future done got impregnated and dating and popped out with and, okay, that's Future. He's still Future. You still gonna buy his album, you still gonna listen to it. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And I think also too, like, I'm a fine believer. I don't speak on other people's experiences, right? I don't know what happened between her and Tory Lanez. I don't know. I wasn't there. Yeah. But I do think that the way that people bash and get at her is the reason why a lot of other women who have been victimized don't come forward. And I think that a lot of time with society and with men, it's like, it's okay if it happens to her, but if it's your daughter or your sister, you jumping out the window.
Absolutely.
So I think that I'm a person that likes to be fair, regardless of gender. I'm very neutral. I like to be fair.
Me too.
I like to hear people's stories. She also came out with a documentary. I watched it, and she talked about her mental health. The internet and things almost drove this girl so crazy that she had to check herself in a facility. Yeah. That's insane.
That's a different level of pressure. That's the hardest part about what we doing here. Like, you leave yourself open to, that's one of my biggest fears, public scrutiny to the point where I want to hurt one of y'all. Like, not y'all, but like, y'all. Like, it's like, damn, but I guess that's what you sign up for. It's rough, though.
Yeah, even still, I said to her, I saw something, because I'm a big person. I watch the media. I'm in the media. I'm watching. I'm seeing what's happening. But Tory Lanez is in jail now. He's still controlling her mind and away from jail. That's crazy. That man got control of her mind. She feel like she need order protection now today, and that man is incarcerated. That's a different level.
Also, too, like, right, with you being, a psych major and all that, y'all are like, I don't know the percentage, but y'all are like a strong percentage of emotion. Yeah. And so it's about feeling. So sometimes it don't even be logical. Just because she feel a way don't mean he's doing anything extra, because, sometimes you could just bother people by treating them like they don't exist. Yeah. That's
real.
So it's like, and then too, it's like unwritten, I ain't gonna say rules, but it's like, it's since the beginning of time, it's been okay for women to do certain things that it wasn't okay for men to do. Yeah. I guess safe to say, if a man lives off a woman, y'all know what y'all calling them. Yeah. What y'all calling them? What y'all calling them?
Bum.
Right. Now, you'll have a woman feel obligated for... Dating is a business. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So
and let me say this too.
A woman could just walk into a life and it's like, oh, nah, yeah, she did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just how it go. Like,
but it's listen, if a woman walk into a man's life and he's taking care of her, she's a bum too. I can't relate.
Oh, okay.
I can't relate. Because anybody I date, I got the whole table.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with, like I said, as a man, it's a man's job. I'm not knocking it. Like the providers, absolutely. We just talking about the stigmas.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Nigga can't just say, a woman to just feel like, all right, she gave a nigga something like, oh, and it was raw too, so you got to do this. It's like, why? Because you got something out there. You ain't, like, come on, like, I'm trying to pick my words right.
No, we both benefited from the situation.
Like, it's almost like women are legalized prostitution. No cap. Not to say it's so rough, though, because certain words, it's like, it sounds rougher than it is, but I'm just reading it. We just talking about stigma.
But I want to be
men and women.
I want to be totally transparent. I think that
so niggas fucking around and running around with hella bitches since the beginning of the time was almost no, and I don't agree with it.
It was normal, right?
For y'all, it wasn't. But at the same time, we all got our arguments.
But I think in this generation influenced a lot of things that people do. So like in this generation, it's get money, fuck these niggas. Even if I did sleep with him, it don't matter because I got the bag from him. This and this. That's what's
going on.
That's what we see. That's in rap music. That's in this. And then niggas.
The 50-year-olds is doing that too, though. But the rappers is 30. The 50-year-olds is doing it.
But that's because they're influenced now by this generation's music and what's on social media.
Sure.
Like people act like, I'll never forget. I was having a conversation with my male friends. I'm like, yo, you in love? He was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, wait a minute. What's wrong with being in love?
It's crazy.
What is wrong with being in love?
It's crazy.
You and this person have a kid together. Y'all living together. Y'all talking about doing things together. Mm-hmm. You are in love, and it is okay. I think that this world makes it seem like it's a bad thing to be in love. And stuff like that makes you want to, like, if you're influenced or you don't want to look a certain type of way to your mans or everybody else, so you kind of keep that to yourself or you want to, safe keep that. But you got to know who you are.
Man.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Growing up in this generation, I tell people this all the time. People who have kids, growing up in this generation, I am scared for you.
But it was back then too, because I was just watching the movie Temptations, and like Diana Ross was over here one day, then this nigga got a family, but he on a tour bus with this one. That shit been going. Our grandmas was into that.
No, they was.
You know what I mean? People I know is like they got the same grandma, but they don't got the same.
But listen to me.
Or grandma got a little.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. This was happening since back in the days, but.
I know people who found out who their real dads was when they got older because it's like, oh, you don't look like son.
Because you know why? Diana Ross couldn't post that she was with Billy yesterday. Yeah, she couldn't do that. Diana Ross wasn't posting Billy watched, so his wife didn't know that. Yeah. They were just creeping, and when he came home, he came home. And if something happened, him and his wife dealt with that. Society wasn't seeing it. Nowadays, if people cheat or something happened, you on social media by the morning.
Yeah.
Okay? And everybody gonna know what's going on.
Screenshot, it's gonna have y'all picture next to it with the it's nasty.
Now back in the days, he cheated on me. Proof Billy was with you. Now in this day and age, I got the screenshot, I got all the messages.
That's important too, though. I'm not like anti-tech. Like that's important because listen, if you did it, you did it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I just think that this time, like during this time, it's a different time, and like we have things that we didn't have back then, so we're more exposed, basically. So you just gotta watch yourself.
Yeah. One more question I do want to ask you before we dive into this podcast. What's your opinion on like? I feel like the problem is it's a lot of men versus women. Like it's men versus women nowadays. Everything is man versus women, and I feel like one of the biggest issues with that is men is getting advice from women on how to be, on what kind of man they need to be, and women is getting advice from men as to what kind of women they want to be. So I feel like women need to deal more with women to find out what it is to be a woman, and men need to deal with man because the opposite sex is always that lust factor to where the judgment gets compromised because there's always, you know what I'm saying, that way is though another woman, a woman who don't want to fuck you or deal with you on a physical level, she going to tell you what it is about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So what's your opinion on that as far as roles and mentorship and all that? Like you might get into it with your nigga and call a nigga and be like, yo, this event and this, that, and the third, and he might not keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? How do I want to put this? Because I be having to watch what I say on these things. They be zooming in. That goes back to that male bestie shit. That shit is not, that should be cap. You know what I'm saying? You a bestie by force or you a bestie by choice. It's different.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. Wait, hold on. I'm going to answer this question. So first, I'm going to say this. Because I want to be clear, I have a bestie and a male best friend, and like we've been best friends since high school, and that's just because we both was interested in sweat. That's my dog. Nothing ever happened between us, whatever. But what I will say,
you twerk on that nigga, is he gonna body slam you?
Oh, if I twerk with him, he gonna be like, B, what are you doing? Like, what's going on?
Fuck all that. He
not aggressive.
Shout out to Japrice. That's my man's sister. That's like my sister. She twerk on me. I'm picking her up and dumping on her neck.
But he not aggressive. He just gonna be like,
it's
B,
not about being aggressive.
He gonna be like, B, what
it's
is
a
this?
level of disgust that's natural.
I think
if
what
that's
it is.
my sister.
But
you
listen,
throw that thing on him, how he gonna act?
But listen, this is what I think. I want to first make this clear.
Yeah.
Men and women, we need each other. I want to make that clear.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
Men and women, we need each other.
For sure. Absolutely.
Because if not, everybody, it would be no babies, it would be no nothing. We need each other. So you'll never hear me say I don't need no man. You can say that. That's your opinion. But I need a man. I know that.
Yeah.
A man needs me and I need him because men possess certain things that I don't have.
Absolutely.
And I have things that men don't have.
Absolutely.
I think that men need to have more conversations with not just men, and women need to have more conversation with just women. I think the problem is y'all need to have more conversations with people who are in successful relationships. Stop talking to your bitter friend who can't keep a man. It's not working.
It's not working.
Stop talking to your homeboy who every time y'all go to an event, he got a different girl there. It's not working for you. Somebody said something to me. They said, Beranda, you want to have a successful relationship, you want to be married, you need to start talking to more wives. Stop talking to your single friends.
Yeah.
They can't keep a man, so what are they going to tell you?
Yeah.
Stop talking to your bitter friends. And then sometimes some of your friends don't be on the same level. So if you know that you're a man, that you want to be married, you want to have a family, and this is what you want, how are you going to talk to your friend who got a different woman every week? It's not working for you. So it's not the fact of we need to talk to the same gender, yes, but you also need to talk to people who are experiencing successful relationships. My mother and my stepfather have been together since I was 2. I'm talking to her. She know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
She know what's going
For
on.
sure.
She got 2 kids. He got 2 kids. They got 2 kids together. They got 6 kids. They've been through things. They know what's going on. I have other older women. They are married. They know what's going on. They've been together. They bought houses together, bought properties together. They know what's up. Those are the kind of women that I want to talk to.
Alignment. Yeah.
Come on, you got to talk to people who are in line with what you got going on. Why are you talking to your friend who cannot keep a man and she's sleeping with somebody every week?
Yeah.
It's not working for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm big on, I like to have people around me. Like I tell people all the time, a lot of my friends that you'll see, it's rare you'll see somebody new. My friends have been around me 10, 15 years. Like I have friends who align with what I got going on, who are also businesswomen, entrepreneurs, degrees. My best friend is a buyer for a sneaker store. Like I have women around me who are aligned with what I got going on.
Sure.
I'm not hanging out with the person that work at Walmart. I'm not. Because that's not where I'm at.
Damn.
And I'm not trying to be shady, but that's not where I'm at.
I get what you're saying. Alignment.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's not personal.
It's alignment. Because if I sit here and I tell you I went to work and then I got off and then I had to go to school, and now I got to be up and I got to work on my podcast, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. You're shifting it at 3. You can't relate.
Yeah.
You can't relate to what I got going on.
And you might, start speaking that energy into what I got going on. Now you just killing my vibe.
Let me tell you something, and I'll never forget this. I spoke to a person and I told them that I was going back to go to school. They said to me, what if you don't finish? That was the most negative thing I've ever heard. Yeah. All my other friends that I told this for, and this was somebody I was dating. It's so weird because when I told this to my friends, all my friends was clapping for me. My friends went, we got to meet now. We all got to be together now.
But you can't, but hold on, because now we talk about dating, like this might be Brother Finland you just met on Tinder 2 months ago. So you can't compare them knowing you and them. All right. Regardless of what it was, you can't compare. Okay, so regard. All right, how long?
We talking about 5 years.
5 years. Okay, but I'm gonna come clean. 5 years. Absolutely. 5 years.
Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
You can't even compare that. But you can't compare that to a 15-year relationship. Though.
No, yeah, but
friendship. I mean, you can't even compare.
No, but all right. So not even saying like a friendship.
No shit that he. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute.
Maybe.
Wait, he should have been rooting for me. You should have been number 1. You should have been number 1. You should have been. My girl about to be a doctor. I'm jumping out the window. We about to get this money.
He might have not ever experienced that.
But that's when I got to get away because you're not aligned with what I got going on. This is about alignment.
You don't even know this exists.
Hello. So I need to go find somebody who got the mindset like me. You're gonna.
Or you could pull them up. Y'all be quick to. Y'all trying to find niggas that's fully loaded. Sometimes you gotta. It's a project, nigga, and I'm gonna do
how
this.
many
I'm gonna do that.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm gonna help them.
How many projects do you want me to work on? How many Build-A-Bears do you want me to do? The Build-A-Bears in the mall. That's not me.
You gotta sometimes teach a person how to love you. We talking about compromise.
Teaching you how to love me and teaching you to be supportive is two. So certain things, and you know this.
Yeah.
Certain things is either in you.
Yeah.
It's either in you or it's not, and you know that. I know you.
Nah, I know
you know
that.
that.
Sure,
certain things
that.
you
Yeah,
can't.
that's a fact.
You
did the
can't
right
teach
thing.
nobody
You
to
did
be.
the right thing.
Come on.
Yeah.
You can't teach nobody to be a fighter. Either you got it in you or you're not. You can't teach nobody. You can. I can teach you how to love me, but it's either you loving or you're not. You understand what I'm saying? Come on. You can't teach.
My nigga said, what we doing next? Like, what's up?
Come on.
That was easy.
It's either you got it in you or you're not.
I don't. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that was for her though. Like, I
Yeah.
coached you for 5 years, and I tell you, oh, this is what I want to do. And your first line of defense is,
What if you don't get?
what if you don't make it?
That's
What if you
not
don't
it
finish?
is.
Okay,
You right.
You're right. I won't make it with you. Get out
Yeah,
of here.
deuces. And now look. I know he gonna see that cap and yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Very okay. I get it.
He like, let me go back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Now you want me to be Build-A-Bear.
But now that's not. But that's like, damn. If we all growing, let's help each other grow.
Listen.
Not everybody can eat at your table.
Very true.
And
Very true.
I acknowledge,
Yeah, everybody can come. Everybody can come.
I acknowledge too that nobody's perfect. And I'm gonna be completely transparent. I cut off friends also that's 10, 15 years. We're not aligned.
Mm-hmm.
We're not aligned. And
Is that easy for you to do, or is that something that's?
let me tell you something. It's tough, and you know me for being like
Yeah.
tough. I am a lover. I am. When I tell you I love you, ain't nothing in this world I won't do for you. I love you. When I love you, I love you. That's it. So like walking away from people is sad for me.
Yeah.
But I also, if it's either me or you, I'm not drowning.
For sure.
I'm never going to drown. I'm going to save me first. And I felt like that in situations where it was like, yo, you're drowning trying to save this relationship. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's romantic, you're drowning. You got to pick. Are you going to save them or you going to save you?
Yeah, for sure.
And it was like, I have to save me. And I knew it was the best decision or a good decision I made because when I finished or wasn't no longer in that situation, life got better.
For sure.
People don't understand. Sometimes God won't bless you with stuff if with the wrong people around. I
Definitely.
believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. And it'd be people who you'd be like, damn, this then not this one, but it'd be like, yeah, that one, he waiting for you to when you gonna figure it out. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's hard to do. Cause like I said, we in a society where like it's all about doing shit for everybody else. When you do something for yourself, when you talk about yourself, compliment yourself, it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you not telling me this? Like, why? What the fuck?
But I also want to be transparent. Like, it's hard.
Gotta be selfish sometimes.
And it's hard, but I think for people like, and I've had a conversation with somebody, and it's hard to kind of watch somebody else be successful when you're not where you want to be. You know what I mean? It's hard.
Not for me.
For some people.
Yeah.
For some people, it's hard. Like I had somebody tell me it's hard for me to watch you be successful, and I'm not. And we the same age. We started off kind of the same way, and I'm not where I want to be, and I see you taking off. It's hard for some people.
You gotta go off the rip. If that's hard, we ain't even got nothing to talk about.
You
That's
see?
hard.
That's hard. I had somebody say
To
that
watch me.
Listen, you wouldn't believe the kind. I gotta bring him with the kind of conversations I be having.
Yeah, nah. You might give me nightmares, them type of convos.
I've
Hell
had
nah.
these conversations, and people think,
That's your gig to get something. You understand?
yeah, no,
That's
it don't-
motivating, and I love you, even if I don't. Just seeing you.
It's not. Let me tell you something.
I love you. Why would I want to not see you happy?
It's not.
That's
It's not.
15 years and
We align. Yeah.
whatever, but we align.
We align.
She said she was getting her doctorate. Go ahead, go do that shit. What you need?
Yo, and like, let me tell you something. When I tell you something about
conflict is a part of life. If you just agree with me 24 hours a day, you gotta go too.
No.
I don't want nobody that's just you just want to be on whatever I'm on. Like, nah, hell nah.
and
That's
people,
why everybody don't make it because you don't have
Yeah.
anybody that's willing to.
Yeah.
Whatever she want to do, she like, yo, just call me.
and not even what I want to
That's
do.
trust too, because you know she not no dummy. She not going.
Yeah.
Well, y'all not always dummies. You know, sometimes I don't give a fuck. I said this on another interview. You can have all the doctorates and shit in the
You
world.
gonna have people out here
Brother
beating out my phone when I post this. Oh,
nah.
my
Well,
God.
you know, it is what it is. That degree
Yeah.
sometimes don't always translate
Yeah.
every aspect. You know
I
what I'm
think-
saying?
you know what I mean?
That's a problem too. Sometimes college girls get to y'all start trying to take that degree to every area in life. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa. I'm the professor over here
Yeah.
in this lane. You did that, cool. But yeah, do you go through that?
I don't think I'll go through that. You know why I don't think I'll go through that? Because, and people say, like, when I see you there, it was like, you don't look like a doctor. So what the hell does a doctor look like? I get that all the time.
It's
And a
fucked
lot
up.
of people know me from just bowling or know, like, you know, just some seeing me in the neighborhood, like, and stuff like that. So, like, they don't really, so now when it's like, well, what's going on? And I speak like what I got going on, they looking at me like,
Oh, be on her Westchester shit. You know she go to Manhattanville. She ain't from Brooklyn no more.
No, they be looking like
Pleasantville.
Oh, this is what you're doing, and like I still keep. I like to think that I tell people I didn't change. I grew up. I like to think I didn't change. I grew up. Yeah. So I'm still a girl from Brooklyn. I still could go hang out in Brooklyn and I'm known and this is what's going on. But also I'm no dummy. I could walk in rooms and I can speak to people. I know how to articulate myself. I know how to advocate for myself and I can advocate for others. And when people come and you speak to me, you got to speak to me with some sense.
That's a skill too.
Yeah.
That's a skill because you'll fuck them up. People, and they almost insult you. They try to deal with you. It's like, well, I'm not one of those. Let me get in this bag real quick. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah.
Like the girl that you see at brunch is not the girl that you're going to get when I walk in business rooms. Like I'm going to speak. You know what I mean?
When I don't even ask people like, who are you? Because you got to be able to adapt.
Adapt, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends who you ask when it come to me, like who I am. You might have got this side of me. This person might have got that. So yeah. Wow, that was dope. I like. Yeah. Shout out to you, man. Let's get to one of the primary reasons why we here. You about to start a what? What you about to do?
So I'm going to start, my podcast is actually launching in March. We're actually filming now. We're in the process of now. It's called Felder On Line One. You can follow us on Instagram. It's Dr. Felder On Line One on Instagram. And it's basically a platform that's educating people on mental health. I'm going to be giving mental health tips, and I'm also going to have guests up there who struggle with mental health, telling their stories and ways that they navigated through it. I think that a lot of people, especially in the African American community, I want to be clear, I'm definitely, I want everybody. This is a podcast for everybody. But I specifically came here because I want my people to understand what's happening.
Absolutely.
A lot of African Americans are struggling with mental health. And, we were born in a time where it was like, you don't tell people what's going on. You don't talk to people about what's going on. And I want us to get out of that mentality. So I'm starting this podcast to show people that other people are going through what you're going through.
Yes.
It's okay. This is how you can get help or seek help. And these are tips and ways to get through whatever you're going through. On the podcast, I'll also be showing some of my story because I feel like I don't show enough of me and what I go through. And like you said, I think I have a story.
For sure.
And I want people to know that. So I'll be also like showing people the day in life of me studying, things that you got to go through to become a doctor at the end of my journey. Ways that you can get in school, I'll be providing all of that. And I'm hoping that you guys will tune in and it'll help you in a major way.
Definitely. That's important. Transparency, I feel like, how you gonna be a mentor if you're not leading through experience?
Yeah.
Like there's too much of that going on the internet where everybody just wanna do this, do that, do this, do this. Well, what exactly did you do? Yeah. Especially when you start knowing people personally, it's like, damn, why you tell these youngins like, yo, listen, this is where I started from. That's why I like to get into the story, because you have people who see somebody like you, like, damn, she got her doctorates. I could never do that and not know that they circumstance coming up was better than yours, and you still did that. So that's important.
And I also want to get people out of the mind, like I was saying before we started shooting, I understand that school is not the only way. Like I understand there's other platforms. School worked for me.
For sure.
Me going to school and doing it this way, it worked for me, and I want people to understand that. But I also want other young girls, don't let nobody tell you that you can't become no doctor. Don't let nobody psych you out like that. You can become a doctor. If you come to me and say you want to be an astronaut, okay, what's your plan? How you gonna do it? You get what I'm saying? Well, we got to look it up. We got to figure it out.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that gives college a bad name is the debt that you receive as lifetime debt sometimes with that. Like, what's your opinion on that? Is that something that...
Stop letting people feed your mind to do it. First of all, when you buy a house, this is why. When you buy a home, don't you take out a loan?
Yeah,
okay.
Most people do.
When you buy a car, if you finance a car, don't you take out a loan? And stop letting people cycle. Use your brain. There's ways, there's avenues. It's money out here. Every school has money for black kids specifically. Go find it. Go get it. Go look it up. Manhattanville, I got money to go to Manhattanville. I'm in doctoral school now. I got money to go there. It's things I got to do to keep the money. I got to keep a GPA. I got to do this. But there's money out there. The thing is, we're not looking. We think, oh, it's so hard. How you going to let somebody psych you out and say something so hard before you even tried it? Mm-hmm. Go try first. Then tell me it's hard, or B, it's nothing out there. But when people say this is hard and they haven't even tried, it bugs me out. So I had that people in my mind. Like I had somebody tell me, oh, to become a doctor, you're going to be in debt. Do y'all know about the relief programs? Do y'all know that it's loan forgiveness? Do you know that if you work in a nonprofit organization or in schools, they'll forgive your loans? Like, we got to talk. Like, this is my thing.
Talk that shit.
If you're going to talk to me and you say, it's stuff is out there, are you going to apply? I'm going to be honest. I applied for the loan forgiveness program. Got it. Like, come on. Y'all gotta talk.
That's paperwork. That's you at home on the computer. You got a laptop?
That's when stuff coming out. I'm on the computer. They know I keep my laptop and my iPad everywhere I go. It's in the back of my car right now because I never know when I need to pull it out. I never know when I'm going to meet somebody and they need to know something. I never know. I got a call one time and they said they needed my resume right now. My laptop was in the back of my car and I sent that resume. You never know what kind of phone call you're going to get.
That's
so my thing
level.
is stop listening to what other people say and do the work yourself. If you do the work yourself and then you say, listen, B, I did the work and this is what it is, and that's different. But a lot of people speak to you for what they heard.
Absolutely.
I never follow what I heard. I went and did the research myself.
Yeah. Okay. Stop playing. Yo, you think of go to school, man. Like I said, that's something that's a topic that's, and that's a lot of people's story. That ain't your story.
Yeah, especially as people like, you come, not to say like that, you have a single parent household. It's financial aid. Why y'all not applying for the financial aid? They have program scholarships. Like I said, I had to keep a GPA. And now I have to like work with another doctor and I have to help her with her paperwork. That's light stuff. I want it, right?
For sure.
They're going to pay for it and I'm going to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
People don't want to put in the work and look. So it's just like, when people say loans and all this other stuff, I'm like, I hear you. But that's not my story.
Absolutely. You as this, I don't know if this is a word, the solutionist, right? What are some things that you struggle with in your own personal mental health journey that you feel like you could sharpen up?
And
you got the dictionary. We know it's an open book test kind of. Like you kind of like cheating. But yeah.
I think like one thing I'm learning this year is that I can't do everything and I can't be everything to everybody. I can't. I got to learn to say no. Right. And I think that sometimes I struggle with that. Like especially like my family. Oh my God. Tell them no. I can't. But now I think that like in life, especially in a journey where I am, I told my sister this the other day, I said, I can't always be there for everybody else. I'm struggling to be there for myself. Yeah. Like I'm trying to be there for myself at this point because I need me right now, right? So everybody that knows, like I'm very family oriented. So like my sister be like, oh, go pick up my kids. I'll go run and get the kids. Or, oh, I need you to do this. I'll stop and do this. Or if they need me to do something. But I think like right now in my journey, like I need me right now. Like I'm in school, I'm finishing up. Soon I'm gonna be like looking for jobs in the hospital, like psych wards is where I wanna be. I wanna start I'm starting my own podcast. I wanna start my own private practice where people could come in and get therapy. This is stuff that I need to put my mind to and do. I wanna move to Long Island, I'm trying to buy a house. So it's like, it's okay to be there for everybody else, but when are you gonna be there for you?
Absolutely, you could burn out like that. Yeah, you ever had that breaking point where you just stopped your personal goals to just decompress? What's some things you do for mental clarity? It could be music. You might work out, I go run, I might retail therapy, they call it, whatever, you know, some things that.
I'm definitely like a retail person. I buy all the time. But I think like for me, I buy all the time. I'm like, even stuff I don't need, I'm like, I want it, I need it. No, I buy all the time. But I think for me, it's like really being social. That's what helped me. I'm not a good person. Sometimes I like to be in my thoughts. And like, obviously when I'm driving, listen to my music. But for me, like, I need to be around my friends sometimes. So my friend, she's a perfect example. She didn't know. Sometimes I'll just come to her house and like just sit on her couch. Yeah. And it's like, we don't got to say too much, but like everything that needs to be said is said. I just need to be around her. I need to feel love because life is lifing. So I need to be around people that like know me and love me. I don't want to be at school. I don't want to be around other doctors. I just want to be Beranda right now. Yeah. And that's who she knows. Just Beranda who played basketball and was in the park playing ball. That's it.
What sign are you?
Cancer. Why are you not giving us a chance?
Listen, I don't got nothing against. You know, I got a lot of love for Kansas. It's just the emotion. I'm a Pisces.
Oh.
Yeah. What about you? Okay. So I'm a Pisces. So one thing about Pisces that Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Stubborn.
Very.
Pisces. One thing about Pisces and Cancers that, and I could, like I said, I feel your aura. The energy is like real, you know. I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but I was gonna say Remy Ma. You got that, like you got a strong presence. Like you probably scared niggas low key.
Yeah.
Like you know what? Nah, I'm gonna leave her alone. She is, which is good and bad though, because also it's a standard.
Yeah.
Right? You know, but what's up with the? It's the love. That's like. The key, like a car, right? Love is not my engine as a Pisces. Like, it's just not. Yeah. Love is in there somewhere where I feel like love can be your downfall.
It can.
Like, to always need that, like, I'm decompressed. I like meditation by myself. And so it'll be the Cancer that's like, I just gotta be right there. It's like, damn, what about when a motherfucker don't want you right there at that moment? It's not personal. I love you to death, but it's just like, at this moment, I like it like just this. Then there's always some Cancer shit just, and then if y'all don't get that, now it's explosion time.
Yeah.
Are you like one of them type of
I am. I'm not gonna lie. Damn. I'm giving it to you. I'm a lover, like I said. But like one thing I will say that's good about Cancers, if you tell me like you need something off the moon, I'm gonna walk and go get it for you.
No,
We're
like I
lovers.
said, I'm in love with a cancer.
We love.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Anybody who ever experienced me, one thing they're gonna tell you is like, be love. Like when be love, ain't nothing I won't do for you.
It's just certain things which I like. Be more stingy with it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You want me to
Like,
be more stingy with my love?
in
You
the-
just told me to open up.
No. In a sense of, like I said, everybody don't deserve the same.
Yeah.
Everybody don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
So sometimes y'all get put in the hands of just a lot of goofy shit when it's like, because y'all want to just be that for everybody.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
nah, hell nah.
And I get that.
It's not for that. I could pray for you. That don't mean I'm gonna pray with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shit
Yeah.
like that. So
And I think, but
that's
I
a
think-
cancer thing, man. Every cancer that I know will just go over the hurdles.
And we'll
like,
try. We'll be like, come pray with me. Come pray with me. Come pray with me,
it's
please.
different levels. Like,
I'm
you gotta
telling
learn how to
you.
compartment. What's the word?
Yeah.
Compartmentalize.
Lies. Mhm.
Yeah, that. Like, all right, boop, 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 boop. Not we all just amongst the monks and all that. Like, nah. Yeah. So
It's tough. Yeah.
All right. March. Yeah. Wow. That was action packed, man. Tune in March. What's it called again?
It's Dr. Felder On Line
Dr.
One.
Felder.
I'm hoping that you guys follow. We're going to have some great stuff up there. Oh, man, I'm going to have great guests. It's some women up there that are going through postpartum. We're talking about depression. We're talking about anxiety. We're talking about grieving, like loss and losing people. We're talking about that. Like, I'm going to have it so packed. It's going to be so many different things. I'm also going to be, like I said, on the platform, I'm going to be sharing my journey and stuff like that. But I think the podcast is going to be amazing. And I think that a lot of people, I think the last interview that I did, people were saying to me, I spoke about like depression, and people were saying to me like, wow, B, I've been going through, and these are people that I encounter every day, and they was like, I was going through depression, and I didn't know. But because I spoke about it, they finally felt comfortable to talk about it. I don't want my people to suffer in silence anymore. And I think that I have these resources, and I know, and I want to give y'all the game, because other races, they give each other the game.
Absolutely.
So I want to give y'all the game, and I don't want my people to suffer in silence anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's number one, right? I don't know if that's in the textbook, but like, you got to identify the problem before you can fix it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people struggle with identifying it, because it's easy to look out the window. That mirror be killing motherfuckers. That mirror be like, oh, hell nah. You know what I'm saying? People don't really stare in the mirror. I do all the time. I stare in the
Or
mirror
people
all the
not
time.
even know stare in music.
The window, you notice that old lady, that old dude from the community that's always in the window for hours and hours and hours. Like, do you ever look in the mirror at all?
Yeah.
And people do that, like, figuratively, like, in real life.
Or sometimes people don't want to be by themselves. When you by yourself,
Loneliness is the disease, too.
when you
I don't
by
really struggle from
yourself, it makes you think about life. It makes you think about who you are and what you're going through. And some people don't want to be by themselves, or when they by themselves, they're miserable. They don't like who they see. They don't like what's going on. You can pretend to be anybody when you're around your friends, or you can't tell your friends, I'm going through this, or I'm sad. You can't do that. But when you get home, that depression that you're experiencing is still going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like a lot
Deal
of people.
with it. Fix it. It's okay. It's a million of
People don't
bad
wanna do
bitches
that.
and rich niggas and rich people going through this same shit. We can see it. Yeah, I don't know if y'all paying attention to like what's going on, but a lot of people, rich, broke, pretty, fat, tall, we all human. We going through the same things. It's okay.
But this is the thing. We all going through the same thing.
We deal with it different.
Why is it that African Americans are not seeking services? Why?
Because we got to be cool.
I definitely think there's a population of African Americans that are.
Not enough.
I completely agree with you, and I think there's a lack of awareness,
Yep.
lack of education,
Yep.
right? And again, I'm a 37-year-old black guy.
Yeah.
Who was raised by a black family, but
Yeah.
by the age of 12, I was adopted by a Jewish family.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey.
I don't know if you guys know, but like a Jewish mother, there's some things you just can't have enough of: seating, food, and therapy.
Yeah.
And like my mother was like has been on me in therapy since like
12.
yeah right?
Yeah.
Like, and some in my black family, it was kind of like, oh no, my son's not gonna do that.
Bitch ass nigga, you ain't going to no therapy?
Exactly, right? Because it's this stigma. Nothing's wrong with you. You're fine.
Right.
My kid's not going to go to anything.
Or what happens in his house stays in his house.
Right? Like,
You see what I'm saying?
Well, like,
I'm a little, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry. I'm a little into that, like what happens in this house stays in this house when it comes to, Because with therapy, right, it's all about who you talking to. You gotta be mindful of who you talking to. Sometimes you'll be talking to the wrong. Therapy is like a thin line. Like, you can't just be out here just sharing your experience with everybody. Why? I give you a million reasons why. Because a lot of times, a lot of people don't give a fuck. That's one.
Okay.
So what you going through is their entertainment. In a lot of cases, but that's not every case. You just gotta find the right people.
But let me ask you a question.
I'm not sponsoring, just go outside and no. That's not go for like sexual assaults and weirdo shit like that. Like, we not justifying that. Get out there and tell your neighbor now. I'm talking about like, because you also might not understand things as a child. You know what I'm saying? You might see mommy and daddy arguing about something that you're not even gonna really understand, and you might think it's this, but it's really that.
But this is what I'm saying, right? You saying that you're not saying just go out there and talk to people. You've been to therapy before?
Yeah, never really by choice. It was always a force of it. Yeah.
But I think that like people and when people don't understand, even when it comes to kids, because I've had experience with kids, giving therapy to kids and adolescents. What people don't understand is like, even though you said it's a kid, kids watch everything. And kids, they watch everything and they remember everything. Woo. You understand what I'm saying? Even if they never repeat it back to you, they remember it. So people will say, what happened in this house stays in this house. And you'll be an adult, you watch this is an example. If you watch your mother get beat by your father, I shouldn't go to therapy and tell nobody that.
Yeah,
and that's affecting me as an adult.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, we need to stop saying that kids need to keep things to themselves. The kids, things that's happening in the house is affecting these kids, and this is why they're becoming messed up adults.
Very true.
We need to get it. We need to figure that out. Like, and that's why I'm an advocate. People will tell you I'm an advocate. Go to therapy. I've been to therapy. I'm a therapist, and I've been to therapy. You understand what I'm saying? And people told me, like I told you, therapy was a way for me. I had to go to therapy because they said it was mandated. When I was getting my master's, it was mandated. But I had so many problems with my father, I didn't want to go speak to nobody. I went in there and I was speaking to this lady. This could have been a lady. She probably didn't even care about me. And most times you're right. Maybe they don't care about you. But I think it's good to have a mutual person. I can't talk to my friends because they're going to be on my side. I can't talk to my mother.
I'm glad you said that. That's important.
You need a mutual person.
A lot of people vent for the wrong. If I'm venting, it's for a solution. I'm not really venting to get something off my chest. And sometimes your loved ones ain't gonna always give you what you need.
And my loved ones gonna back me up. So if I come to you and I say, well, he did this,
they're gonna drop you off.
Beranda, they're gonna be like, Brandon, you right. I don't need somebody, like you said, I don't need a yes man, right? I need somebody to sit there and I need them to really say, well, think about what happened. Well, why is this going on? And sometimes for me, I'll be in my head, but when I say things out loud, it's a different type of clarity for me. You need to speak to somebody and let them know what's going on with you. And I think that therapy helps make people, it gives people are not, I don't care what nobody says, it's nobody in this world that knows everything about you. Nobody in your close family. It's nobody that knows everything about you. I'd rather go speak for me personally because I feel like friends sometimes they'll throw it back in your face. Somebody will throw it back in your face what they taught you. I go speak to a therapist, this and this is what's going on. Okay, well, why did that happen? Or what's happening? Let's talk about that.
So what I meant by like stays in the house is, for one, like, I'm really with the root of the whole situation. You have to raise your children to understand that, for one, just because we love each other, we're not gonna always agree.
Right.
Like the way even love is marketed in like gifts, compliments, gestures, nice gestures, and things of that nature. Like telling somebody about themselves, even in a respectful manner, is not looked at. That's the strongest form of love, where I see flaw. And where I see you could be greater. Not, you're going to have a million people telling you how great you are. Okay, me knowing you or me really loving you is like, okay, if you tweak this, it'll be that. That person is the people so when you understand that, you start understanding, like, we're not going to always agree. We're going to argue, we're going to fuss, we're going to fight, we might not speak. That's regular. I don't really know nobody who's been on one accord with somebody for their whole life. And if it's like that, it's going to be an explosion when that person finally starts.
But let me ask you a question. When parents argue, how many times do they go to their kids and say, we're going to fight, we're going to argue, but mommy and daddy still love each other? They don't break things down to kids.
That's
it's either go to your room and y'all arguing. So as a kid, I'm left wondering, y'all have these conversations, your kids won't be in a limbo.
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking that y'all fighting, but you're explaining to me, we're going to argue. People don't always get along. And people don't have conversations with their kids and break things down. We don't always get along, but just because we are disagreeing don't mean mommy and daddy don't love each other. It's rare that people do that.
100%. That's what I'm saying. I'm a little bit different. That's what I'm saying. I'm you know.
They send their kids to their room and say, go play with your toys and turn up the TV.
She picked hers right. I'm a blessing. People don't do that. I'm
heavy
that's important.
You
gotta break shit down. There's no default mode. You learn everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So yeah, that's dope. Look, man, Well, look, lady, I said, man. Final words, man. What you want to leave with the culture? Dr. Beranda Felder. The floor is yours.
I just want to leave this tip. I want to say that mental health is real. I want to say that a lot of people are suffering from mental health, and I'm rooting for you. Don't give up. It's people that I've heard that said they are suffering with suicide. I want you to know I'm rooting for you. Whatever you feel like you need to go out and you need to get yourself help. I tell people all the time, I'd rather hear your story than attend your funeral, and I mean that. I hope you guys follow the podcast. It's Dr. Felder On Line One on Instagram. Follow, like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. You know what's up. And it's very important. Like I said, the therapist, because like I said, the therapist, y'all are the end game for some people.
Yeah.
We need to know how y'all get there.
Yeah.
Y'all, you know, so that was dope. I enjoyed this episode a lot. We ain't have too many women on here. Probably one.
I know, I watched.
7 girls? 7 women? Okay.
Okay.
A couple of you guys could be, I could have, but you know, y'all could have been.
Well, I'm happy I got the opportunity.
Y'all could have won
here.
that category
Yeah.
too, but you know, this ain't about y'all right now. Shout out to Dr. B. Felder. I'm gonna be definitely tuned in.
Good,
this was
good.
amazing.
And you gonna come to the event, right?
I'm coming on the show. I'm
Oh,
coming to the
he
event.
coming on
but
the show.
I need to get on
I
the
love
show. Yeah, I need
that.
to get on the show. I'm heavy into the mind. Like
Yeah.
I'm an isolator. Like you don't really get a chance to see me
Okay.
a lot. Like I'm.
So
heavy.
y'all remember he said that, because I'm gonna keep him to his word. I'm holding to his
Yeah,
word.
I'm coming to the show. I said that. I mean, in Green Leaf Studios live reporting.
Okay.
All
right. You gotta come with him. The way I brought her, you gotta come with
That's
him.
my dog. Ain't no way in the world he not coming.
You gotta come with him.
That's Coach Kirk. Man. Act like I know what the fuck going on. Excuse the language. This is therapy hour. Yo, Nothing's Normal podcast. Dr. B. Felder. We tuned in. It's all love. We signing out.
Outta here.